there exists within the human tongue a royal authority so profound that those who discover and consciously wield it command their circumstances as surely as a master conductor directs a symphony. Your spoken word is not a timid request cast hopefully into the void, nor a desperate plea for divine intervention. It is a creative decree that penetrates the invisible realm and commands substance itself to take form according to your declaration. When you truly understand this principle, you will never again speak carelessly, for you will recognize that every utterance carries the power to either build or destroy, to attract or repel, to create abundance or perpetuate lack. The universe operates with mathematical precision, responding to your words not based on your intentions or your tone, but according to the vibrational pattern you impress upon it. When you declare, "I never have enough," you present a template of scarcity, and obedient universal law rushes to fill that mold with experiences that match your spoken pattern. Conversely, when you decree, "Lavish increase flows to me now," you give the law a blueprint of abundance, and it must outpicture prosperity through channels both expected and unexpected. The difference lies not in the kindness or cruelty of fate, but in the creative authority with which you wield your word. Most souls live as beggars when they could reign as royalty, because they fundamentally misunderstand the nature of their relationship with the divine. They approach the universe as supplicants, hoping their prayers might be heard by a distant deity who may or may not choose to grant their requests. This consciousness of separation and unworthiness poisons their declarations at the source. But you are not a beggar pleading for crumbs from heaven's table. You are a co-creator with the infinite, endowed with the same creative faculty that spoke worlds into existence. Your declaration is not a request, but a divine command issued from the process, throne of your spiritual authority. The key to effective declaration lies in speaking from the high place within your consciousness, that inner sanctuary where doubt cannot enter and certainty reigns supreme. If your voice trembles with uncertainty, speak softly until your conviction rises to meet your words. You are not attempting to convince a reluctant universe to favor you. You are aligning with a principle that delights to prosper you. The same intelligence that governs the movement of planets and the changing of seasons responds to your spoken word with absolute faithfulness when that word is clothed in genuine belief. Consider how modern quantum physics validates what ancient wisdom has always taught. Consciousness is the fundamental creative force in the universe, and your spoken word is consciousness in its most concentrated and powerful form. Each word creates ripples in the invisible substance from which all material things are formed. When you speak your declaration with concentrated and 4017, unwavering faith, you are literally molding this substance into the forms and experiences you desire. The atoms themselves respond to your command, rearranging themselves to match the vibrational pattern of your spoken decree. Practice the art of deliberate utterance by transforming the language of limitation into declarations of truth. Replace "I can't afford it" with "I choose my priorities wisely," and "I am abundantly supplied." Transform "nothing ever works out for me" into "everything works together for my highest good." Substitute "I'm always broke with money flows to me," easily and constantly. Each conscious substitution rewrites the program of your subconscious mind and redirects the creative forces toward your desired outcome. The power of your October declaration lies in its precision and completeness. When you state, "This October, I am established in divine abundance," you are not hoping for abundance. You are establishing it as an accomplished fact in the invisible 25 realm. The phrase, "Lavish increase flows to me now," creates immediate movement in the universal currents. Through expected and unexpected channels, prevents your mind from limiting the methods of delivery. Under grace and in perfect order, ensures that your manifestation arrives without struggle, debt, or harm to yourself or others. Forgiveness amplifies the creative power of your word by clearing the channels through which your good must flow. A tongue tangled with resentment cannot speak royal orders clearly. Release every grievance, bless every person who has wronged you, and your declarations will ring like a bell, pure, clean, and irresistible to the universal forces that serve you. When appearances contradict your decree, do not quarrel with what you see. Quarreling is a form of worship, and what you battle you enthrone in your consciousness. Instead, answer contradictory evidence with the higher word. If an unexpected bill arrives, bless it as evidence that your circulation is active and declare, "This is easily met by my abundant supply flowing through perfect channels." Refuse to dramatize lack, dramatize the law that never fails. Maintain the consciousness of your declaration through repetition drenched in belief. Just as a river carves rock through persistent flow, your repeated decree shapes circumstances through the steady application of faith-filled words, yet avoid mechanical repetition without feeling. Your declaration must be alive with conviction, spoken as one who has already received, not as one who hopes to receive. Bless everything connected to your financial life, for what you bless multiplies in your experience. Lay your hands on your wallet, your checkbook, your business tools, and speak increase over them. Whisper to your money as you spend it, "You are blessed currency. Go forth and return to me multiplied under grace." Praise opens the channels through which abundance flows, while complaint closes them tight. Keep company with your declaration by writing it where your eyes frequently fall. Let it become the soundtrack of your consciousness, the first phrase your lips form upon waking, and the last words you speak before sleep. For this sacred October, decree with absolute authority, "This October, I am established in divine abundance. Lavish increase flows to me now, money, brilliant opportunities, and perfect solutions through expected and unexpected channels, under grace and in perfect order." Remember that your word, spoken with genuine conviction and maintained in consciousness, becomes a living force that travels through dimensions you cannot see, activating resources you are unaware of, and arranging circumstances that will astound you with their perfection. This is not hope or wishful thinking. This is the scientific application of spiritual law through the creative authority of your divine word. October arrives not as mere calendar transition, but as a sacred threshold where the invisible realm opens its storehouses with unprecedented generosity. This 10th month carries within its very essence the vibrational frequency of completion, culmination, and divine fulfillment. Just as nature demonstrates her most lavish abundance through golden fields and fruit-heavy branches, the spiritual atmosphere of October creates optimal conditions for your own harvest of prosperity, health, and joy. The same cosmic intelligence that commands trees to release their treasures and vines to offer their sweetness also directs the flow of money, opportunities, and perfect solutions toward those who align themselves as conscious receivers during this appointed season. The metaphysical significance of October extends far beyond earthly agriculture into the realm of consciousness itself. During these 31 consecrated days, the veil between the seen and unseen worlds grows gossamer thin, allowing the accumulated power of your year-long declarations to break through into visible manifestation. Every foreordained prayer whispered in January, every decree spoken in spring, every act of faith performed throughout the summer now reaches its moment of divine demonstration. The invisible realm has been working tirelessly behind the scenes, arranging circumstances, moving people, opening doors, and preparing channels through which your good can flow with remarkable speed and precision. This heightened spiritual potency occurs because October represents the cosmic culmination of natural cycles. Your subconscious mind, which governs the majority of your manifestation ability, responds powerfully to seasonal symbolism embedded in human consciousness for millennia. When you consciously align your prosperity work with October's harvest imagery, you activate deep archetypal patterns that naturally expect abundance during this time. This expectation becomes a powerful magnet for material demonstration, as your mind instinctively knows that harvest season brings the fruition of all that has been faithfully planted and tended. The numerical significance of October as the 10th month cannot be overlooked in spiritual mathematics. 10 represents completion and fresh order, marking the end of one cycle and the beginning of a higher arrangement. October therefore becomes the divine accountant, balancing ledgers in your favor, canceling debts of resentment, dissolving old vows of struggle, and rewriting agreements with lack that were made in moments of fear. This cosmic completion energy explains why financial breakthroughs, career advances, and life-changing opportunities manifest with such frequency. During October, the universe delights in demonstrating supply during its appointed season of abundance. October's unique position as a bridge between the active energy of summer and the reflective wisdom of winter creates a perfect window for transformation. This transitional quality makes it the ideal time for releasing old financial patterns and embracing new levels of prosperity. Consciousness. Just as farmers clear their fields after harvest to prepare for next season's planting, October invites you to clear away limiting beliefs, scarcity thinking, and poverty consciousness to make room for unprecedented abundance. The cosmic currents during this season naturally dissolve barriers that typically separate spiritual and material realms, allowing your declarations to carry exponential creative force. The practical implications of October as divine harvest season mean that every prosperity practice you engage during this month receives cosmic amplification. When you speak your declaration this October, "I am established in divine abundance," you align with the very forces that painted autumn leaves and filled orchards with fruit. You become a conscious co-creator with the intelligence that governs all natural abundance, and your prosperity becomes as inevitable as the changing seasons themselves. This is not mere positive thinking but participation with immutable cosmic law operating at peak efficiency. To fully harness October's harvest energy, cultivate an attitude of grateful expectation that treats your abundance as already accomplished fact. This expectation is not passive waiting, but an active, magnetic force that draws your good to you with unprecedented speed. Just as the farmer does not doubt his fields will yield their bounty if he has done his part, hold unshakable conviction that your good is not only approaching but is already here, pressing in upon you from all directions. This consciousness of certain expectation creates the perfect vibrational match for October's generous spirit. October also demands the release of all lingering limitations in your consciousness. Forgiveness becomes your swiftest scythe during this season, cutting free the channels of supply that resentment has tangled. Speak aloud, "I release you to your highest good, and I am released to mine." Feel the relief flood your system as your spirit loosens its grip on past hurts. You have moved from judgment to jurisdiction, from story to sovereignty, and in that moment, harvest speeds toward you unimpeded by the briars of old wounds. Resentment tangles the channels of supply, while forgiveness cuts them free, allowing October's abundance to flow without obstruction. The circulation principle becomes particularly powerful during October's harvest season. Currency is current, and what you release with blessing returns multiplied through the season's natural amplification. Bless every outflow, every bill, every act of generosity, every necessary expense as proof that the river of wealth moves through you freely. Whisper to your money as you spend it, "You are blessed currency. Go forth and return to me multiplied under grace." Place your hands on your wallet, checkbook, and business tools, speaking increase over them. Praise opens the channels through which October's abundance flows, while complaint closes them tight. Prepare your storehouse for October's harvest by creating order in your affairs. Clear your desk of clutter that scolds prosperity. Address bills with blessing rather than dread. Send invoices with cheerful expectation. Answer opportunities with ready enthusiasm. The law respects order and money loves a clear path. As you create organization without hurry, you signal to the universe your readiness to receive. Make room in your mind, calendar, home, and accounts, then watch how swiftly supply finds its rightful place during this season of cosmic generosity. October's harvest energy also carries the quality of perfect divine timing, where delays dissolve and appointments manifest with remarkable precision. Clients who have been silent suddenly call with urgent needs. Opportunities that seemed impossible materialize through unexpected channels. Debts are forgiven, bonuses appear, investments prosper, and new income streams open as if by magic. Yet this is not magic, but the natural outworking of spiritual law during its most favorable season. When you maintain your declaration throughout October, you position yourself in the flow of these perfectly timed manifestations. The holistic nature of October's abundance extends beyond financial demonstration to encompass every area of life. This is not merely about money, though prosperity often serves as the most tangible evidence of spiritual alignment. October offers an abundance of health, joy, loving relationships, creative expression, and peace of mind. It represents a complete harvest designed to enrich every facet of your being. Your October declaration draws not just financial increase, but total life enhancement, as the season's energy naturally multiplies whatever you focus upon with grateful attention. Mark this sacred month through daily recognition of its special power. Each morning, stand where light can find your face and declare 3 times with increasing authority, "This October, I am established in divine abundance. Lavish increase flows to me now, money, brilliant opportunities, and perfect solutions through expected and unexpected channels. Under grace and in perfect order." Then ask inwardly what is yours to do that day, completing the first inspired action before noon. Each evening, record every evidence of movement, no matter how small, treating these as first fruits of your coming harvest. Above all, refuse to quarrel with appearances during this powerful season. If contradictory evidence appears, answer steadily. Figures change, the law does not. I am not at the mercy of appearances. Appearances are at the mercy of my decree. Then return gently to gratitude, which keeps the door unlocked and the path clear for October's unprecedented demonstrations. Keep your eyes on the harvest, your hands in circulation, your heart in praise, and let this divine season accomplish what it has always done for those who honor its law. Reveal the abundance that was already yours, waiting just beyond the veil, eager to pour itself into your life. Under grace and in perfect order, limitation consciousness stands as the invisible prison that separates you from your divine inheritance, the fog that obscures the brilliant sun of your true nature, and the tangled knot that constricts the channels through which October's lavish abundance seeks to flow. This consciousness of scarcity is not reality, but suggestion, a collection of inherited beliefs, ancestral patterns, and learned responses that have convinced you to live as a beggar when you were born to reign as royalty in the kingdom of infinite supply. To claim your October harvest and establish yourself in divine abundance, you must first demolish this mental stronghold that has masqueraded as truth while keeping you bound in voluntary poverty. The mechanics of limitation consciousness operate through the precise law of correspondence, which declares, as within, so without. Your external circumstances serve as a perfect mirror, reflecting back to you the images you hold in consciousness, the words you speak habitually, and the emotional patterns you rehearse daily. When you declare, "I never have enough," you present the universe with a template of scarcity, and obedient cosmic law rushes to fill that mold with experiences that match your spoken pattern. This is not punishment but authority. If your experience springs from consciousness, then you are never at the mercy of appearances, because appearances can be transformed by adjusting their source within your own thinking. The roots of limitation consciousness often extend deep into childhood programming, where scarcity was presented as virtue and abundance as spiritually suspect. Perhaps you absorbed beliefs that money is evil, that struggle builds character, that wanting more is greedy, or that good people should be content with less. These early imprints create subconscious programs that sabotage prosperity even when your conscious mind desires wealth. The child within continues operating from these ancient fears, whispering warnings about the dangers of having too much or the impossibility of maintaining abundance without losing your soul. To break free, you must consciously reprogram these deep patterns with the truth of your divine nature. Fear serves as the chief architect of limitation consciousness, constructing elaborate scenarios of future disaster to justify present poverty. Fear of not having enough creates hoarding consciousness that blocks the circulation necessary for increase. Fear of losing what you have prevents you from using money joyfully, turning wealth into a burden rather than a blessing. Fear of others' judgment keeps you playing small to avoid criticism. Each fear must be faced with spiritual truth and dissolved through recognition that perfect love casts out all fear, and perfect love includes loving yourself enough to claim your divine inheritance without apology or hesitation. Debt consciousness extends far beyond financial obligations to encompass a pervasive sense of owing the universe for your very existence. This pattern manifests not merely through having debts, but through the feeling of debt, the shame, worry, and belief that you are perpetually obligated and unable to rise above your burdens. This consciousness broadcasts a signal of restriction to the universe, which responds by attracting more situations that reinforce that feeling of being bound. To clear this channel, you must declare with authority, "I am free from all debt consciousness. Divine substance now flows to me," clearing every obligation with perfect ease and grace under divine law. Resentment operates as limitation's most trusted lieutenant, poisoning the channels through which abundance flows like a toxin in your spiritual bloodstream. When you harbor grievances against those who have more, former employers, business partners, or even yourself over past financial mistakes, you create energetic barriers that repel the very prosperity you claim to desire. The person you refuse to forgive holds the key to your prison cell, and until you release them with genuine blessing, you remain locked in the limitation they represent in your consciousness. Forgiveness becomes your spiritual solvent, dissolving blockages and clearing the way for October's unprecedented flow. Hurry consciousness creates limitation through the frantic energy of desperation that scatters focus and cuts off intuitive guidance. Hurry is the hymn of scarcity, singing of not enough time, not enough resources, not enough you. When you operate from urgency, declaring that your good must come immediately or disaster will follow, you align with fear rather than faith. Release hurry by stepping into divine pacing, affirming, "There is no loss of time in the divine. What is mine arrives right on time, under grace, and in perfect order." True prosperity flows through peaceful channels and manifests in divine timing, which is always perfect, even when it differs from your preferred schedule. The consciousness of unworthiness perhaps creates the most devastating limitation, for it denies your very nature as a beloved child of infinite abundance. This deep-seated conviction that you do not deserve good things, that you are somehow flawed or inherently undeserving, acts as spiritual sabotage against every prosperity effort. You are not a mortal being hoping to stumble upon good fortune. You are an immortal soul expressing through human form, endowed with every spiritual blessing and entitled to demonstrate unlimited good. Your birthright includes not only enough but more than enough, not only supply but lavish abundance, not only survival but magnificent prosperity. The clearing process begins with the radical act of forgiveness, which cuts the chains that bind you to limitation patterns. Make a conscious inventory of everyone you resent, including yourself, and speak these liberating words over each name. "I forgive you completely and release you to your highest good. I release myself from this burden and claim my freedom now." Feel the lightness that follows each release, for you have just cleared another channel through which your October abundance can flow unimpeded. Forgiveness is not about condoning wrong actions, but about freeing yourself from the limitation that resentment creates in your own consciousness. Transform your vocabulary from limitation language to divine truth declarations. Replace "I can't afford it" with I choose my priorities wisely from my abundant supply. Change, I never have enough to, I always have exactly what I need. And more is on the way. Substitute, money is tight with my resources are expanding daily. Convert, I'm worried about bills into all my obligations are met easily from my word. Overflowing abundance. Each conscious substitution rewrites the program of limitation and installs new software of prosperity consciousness in your subconscious mind. Cultivate gratitude as your most powerful solvent for limitation consciousness, dissolving scarcity thinking through recognition of present abundance. Begin each day acknowledging 10 things you can appreciate about your current circumstances, no matter how challenging they appear. Express genuine thankfulness for shelter, food, clothing, breath, water, opportunities, lessons learned, caring people, talents possessed, and unlimited potential within. This grateful recognition shifts your vibration from lack to abundance, creating the perfect atmosphere for October's increase to manifest. Practice the golden shift whenever problems present themselves. Instead of wrestling with appearances, turn your attention instantly to source, whispering, I look away from the problem to the solution already prepared. There is a perfect answer, perfect timing, perfect provision for this. I accept it now. This pivot is not denial but dominion, inviting ideas, instructions, and synchronicities that remain invisible while you are enthralled by the issue itself. Establish order in your affairs as an antidote to limitation consciousness. Chaos suggests fear and broadcasts, not ready to the universe. Clear your workspace of unmade decisions. File papers, send messages, draft invoices, reconcile accounts. Each act of order signals to cosmic intelligence. Prepare the way. Supply is welcome here. Keep an increased log recording every evidence of movement refunds, discounts, gifts, leads, ideas, contacts. Recognition multiplies what you praise through the warm light of your attention. Breathwork supports this release by entraining your nervous system to abundance rather than fear. Several times daily, pause to inhale slowly into your lower lungs, softening your belly, then exhale longer than you inhale. As you breathe out, imagine stale beliefs flowing from you like dust. As you breathe in, picture golden light pouring into the spaces you cleared. On the exhale, say silently, I release. On the inhale, I receive. This rhythm aligns your body with the truth you are speaking. Practice generous circulation to prove abundance through action. Give something daily a kind word, useful introduction, small sum, full attention, your best work, without strain or grandstanding. Give as a statement of identity, I am a fountain, not a reservoir. This act resets your inner meter from not enough to more than enough, and the law orchestrates returns matching your outflow through channels that need not match the direction of Khan. And your giving. Maintain vigilance over your mental atmosphere, for what you focus on expands exponentially. When thoughts of lack or fear arise, acknowledge them without condemnation, then consciously replace them with truth-filled declarations. Bless every bill as circulation proof, every expense as evidence that your river moves freely. Bless those who seem to have more. Understanding their abundance reflects infinite supply available to all, including you. Throughout this clearing process, anchor yourself in your October declaration. This October, I am established in divine abundance. Lavish increase flows to me now, money, brilliant opportunities, and perfect solutions through expected and unexpected channels, under grace and in perfect order. Speak these words as one vested with divine authority, not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Let this declaration become the new foundation of your consciousness, replacing every pattern of limitation with the truth of your unlimited nature. Remember that releasing limitation consciousness is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice of mental discipline and spiritual alignment. Each moment offers a choice between the old patterns of scarcity and the new reality of abundance. Choose consistently in favor of your divine inheritance, and watch as October becomes not just your richest month financially, but the month when you finally claimed your princess. True identity as a beloved child of infinite supply, worthy of every good thing the universe delights to provide under grace and in perfect order. Prosperity flows through the universe with the same divine precision that moves blood through your arteries, sap through mighty trees, and tides across endless oceans. This eternal circulation represents the very heartbeat of creation itself, and your conscious participation in this sacred flow determines whether October becomes a month of unprecedented abundance or merely another collection of ordinary days. Circulation and grateful expectation operate as twin engines of manifestation, working in perfect harmony to transform your declarations from mere words into tangible demonstrations of divine supply. When you understand and apply these principles with unwavering faith, you position yourself as a conscious channel through which the infinite wealth of the universe delights to pour itself in ever-increasing measure. The law of circulation governs all manifestation in the material realm, operating with the same reliability that sustains your physical body through the constant flow of blood, breath, and neural impulses. Just as your heart does not hoard blood, but pumps it forth with absolute trust that fresh, oxygenated life will return, your financial heart must operate from the same consciousness of confident release and certain renewal. When you allow money to flow out with blessing and gratitude, you demonstrate unwavering faith in the infinite source that provides it, sending a clear signal to the universe that you trust its boundless nature and recognize yourself as a channel for divine good rather than a reservoir attempting to contain the ocean. This principle operates through the precise law of giving and receiving, which declares that what you release with genuine love and blessing must return to you multiplied through channels you cannot anticipate or control. This is not mere philosophy, but spiritual science, as reliable as gravity and as predictable as sunrise. When you circulate a dollar with authentic appreciation, you set in motion invisible forces that must return to you more than a dollar's worth of value, though it may manifest as an unexpected discount, a profitable idea, a valuable connection, or direct monetary increase through completely different channels. The universe operates as one vast circulation system, and your willing participation in this flow determines your access to its unlimited abundance. Money, in its highest spiritual sense, transcends paper and metal to become solidified divine energy, a symbol of infinite substance that carries the vibrational imprint of every consciousness through which it passes. Currency is literally current, a flowing force that must move to remain vital and magnetic. When you handle money with reverence, speak to it with blessing, and release it with joy, you magnetize it with prosperity consciousness that draws more of its kind into your experience. Transform every financial transaction into a sacred ceremony by whispering to your money as you spend it. You are blessed currency. Go forth with my love and return to me, multiplied under grace and in perfect order. This conscious blessing elevates ordinary spending into powerful spiritual practice that accelerates your October manifestation. The emotional atmosphere surrounding your money determines its multiplication factor in your life. Currency that moves through grateful, joyful hands becomes charged with prosperity, energy that creates magnetic attraction for additional abundance. Conversely, money released with fear, resentment, or anxiety carries those vibrations and attracts corresponding experiences of lack and struggle. Touch your bills with appreciation, handle your coins with reverence, and treat your financial instruments as tools of divine circulation rather than symbols of limitation. This shift in consciousness alone can transform your entire financial experience within days of consistent practice. True circulation begins with understanding that you are not losing money when you spend. You are participating in the sacred circuit of wealth that connects all prosperity on earth. Every bill you pay represents evidence that divine supply flows actively through your life. Every purchase demonstrates your faith in continued abundance, and every gift declares your identity as a fountain rather than a reservoir. When you pay obligations, lift each statement with quiet dignity and declare, "I bless this bill as proof of my active circulation. It is paid easily from my abundant supply, and greater flow replaces it immediately." This consciousness transforms debt from burden into circulation evidence, often producing remarkable results, including unexpected money to cover payments, spontaneous discounts, or increased income that makes obligations effortless. Generosity operates as circulation's most powerful accelerator, but true generosity flows from wisdom rather than martyrdom or guilt. Give from fullness, not from fear of appearing selfish, and let your giving be guided by inner direction rather than external pressure. Sometimes, the most generous act involves pricing your services fairly, allowing your business to prosper abundantly, or permitting your talents to receive appropriate compensation. Fair exchange honors the divine circulation system, while undercharging from guilt or overcharging from greed both create kinks in the flow that restrict abundance for everyone involved. Practice microcirculation throughout each day by looking for opportunities to bless others through small acts of generosity. Leave generous tips with gratitude, pay for a stranger's coffee with joy, send anonymous gifts to those in need, or contribute to causes that inspire your soul. These spontaneous acts of kindness create what might be called circulation surprises, unexpected returns that often exceed your giving by remarkable proportions. The channels need not be related, but the law remains exact in its multiplication, often delivering returns through completely different directions than your outflow. Resentment operates as the most devastating dam in your prosperity river, creating energetic barriers that repel the very wealth you claim to desire. Every person you refuse to forgive represents frozen assets in your consciousness, abundance that cannot move because it remains trapped in the ice of old grievances. When you genuinely release someone who owes you money, damaged your reputation, or hurt your feelings, you simultaneously release corresponding prosperity that was held captive by that bitterness. Speak these liberating words over every person who has caused you pain. I forgive you completely and release you to your highest good. I release myself from this burden and claim my freedom to prosper now. Feel the immediate lightness as circulation resumes through channels that resentment had blocked for months or even years. The practice of blessing those who owe you money creates miraculous demonstrations of supply through unexpected channels. A woman once forgave a business partner who had defaulted on a significant loan, blessing him and releasing all claim to the debt. Within 2 weeks, she received an inheritance from a distant relative she had forgotten, totaling exactly 3 times the amount she had released. The channels were unrelated, but the law was precise in honoring her act of spiritual circulation. This principle works regardless of the amounts involved, for the universe measures by consciousness rather than currency. Grateful expectation transcends hope to become the magnetic force that draws your circulated good back to you in amplified form. This represents not passive waiting but active, confident anticipation based on your knowledge of spiritual law. When you release money, energy, time, or attention with genuine gratitude for the privilege of giving, you simultaneously expect not hope, but expect corresponding returns through perfect channels and timing orchestrated by infinite intelligence. This expectation creates a vibrational beacon that guides your multiplied good back to you with unerring accuracy, often through directions that astound you with their creativity and perfection. Cultivate this magnetic consciousness by feeling genuine gratitude for abundance that has not yet appeared in physical form. Thank the universe now for the lavish increase flowing to you throughout October. Express appreciation for the brilliant opportunities already moving in your direction. Acknowledge with joy the perfect solutions being prepared for every challenge you face. This preemptive gratitude signals your readiness to receive and your absolute certainty in divine law's operation, creating the perfect vibrational atmosphere for accelerated manifestation. Practice living from the end result by allowing the emotions of abundance to flood your being before the evidence appears. Feel the relief of financial freedom, the joy of overflowing supply, the peace of knowing all needs are met abundantly. This emotional alignment with wealth magnetizes it into your experience faster than mere hoping ever could, for the universe responds to feeling far more than thinking. When appearances argue against your expectation, answer with unshakable authority. Figures change, the law stands eternal. My supply is secure, and I give thanks that all my good is already on its way. Establish daily circulation rituals that keep prosperity flowing consistently through your consciousness and experience. Each morning, place a coin in a charity container while declaring your intention to be a channel of blessing throughout the day. Each evening, record 3 ways abundance circulated through your life: money received, money spent joyfully, services given, kindnesses received, opportunities recognized. This daily acknowledgement of circulation keeps you conscious of constant flow and positions you to participate more fully in October's accelerated abundance. Create a circulation challenge by consciously looking for opportunities to give something valuable every single day throughout October. This might involve monetary gifts, helpful introductions, words of encouragement, your full attention to someone who needs it, or your best effort in work or service. The key lies in conscious intention to circulate some form of value daily, paired with grateful expectation that this flow will return enhanced through perfect channels. Those who practice this challenge consistently report remarkable increases in income, opportunities, and overall life satisfaction by month's end. Bless every symbol of wealth in your possession by touching your wallet, bank cards, invoices, and business tools while declaring. You attract right increase now through divine magnetism. Keep these items in perfect order, for money loves organization and clarity. Create systems that allow income to be received easily through clear pathways, clear terms, clear invoices, and clear boundaries. Clarity represents kindness to your future. Prosperity and abundance recognizes itself most readily in orderly environments. Tithing represents circulation in its most spiritually powerful form, operating not as religious obligation, but as scientific application of prosperity law. When you consistently give a percentage of your income to sources that spiritually nourish you, whether churches, teachers, charities, or causes that inspire your soul, you establish yourself as a conscious partner with the universe in its circulation system. This practice declares your faith in infinite supply and your willingness to serve as a channel rather than a dam in the flow of divine abundance. The percentage matters less than the consistency and joy with which you give, for tithing ultimately concerns consciousness rather than calculation. Those who tithe with understanding rarely experience lack, having positioned themselves permanently in the flow of divine abundance through their demonstration of faith in its inexhaustible nature. Begin with whatever amount feels like a stretch without creating strain, then gradually increase as your confidence in the principle grows through tangible results. Transform routine financial activities into powerful prosperity practices through conscious blessing and grateful circulation. Before opening your business each day, consecrate your work by declaring, "I welcome delightful surprises and lavish increase through every interaction today." Before sending proposals or invoices, hover your hands over them while affirming, "This represents perfect matches with perfect clients under grace and in perfect order." Before making purchases, bless the exchange by whispering, "This circulation blesses all involved and returns to me multiplied through divine channels." Maintain circulation consciousness by speaking well of everyone involved in your financial ecosystem. Thank bank personnel, appreciate store clerks, acknowledge mail carriers who bring your checks, and praise clients who honor your invoices. Recognize that every person in your economic network plays a vital role in your prosperity demonstration, and your blessing energizes those channels to carry even greater abundance in your direction. Guard against the twin enemies of circulation: hurry, and hoarding. Hurry consciousness creates frantic energy that scatters focus and cuts off intuitive guidance, while hoarding consciousness dams the flow until even existing abundance feels stagnant and insufficient. Replace hurry with divine pacing by affirming, "There is no loss of time in the divine. My good arrives in perfect timing under grace." Replace hoarding with confident stewardship by declaring, "I am a wise channel of limitless supply. What flows through me grows through me in perfect proportion." Throughout October, let circulation and grateful expectation become your predominant financial consciousness. Speak to your money with love, spend with blessing, give with joy, and receive with gratitude. Expect your generosity to return multiplied through channels both expected and unexpected, trusting that every act of circulation creates corresponding inflow through the perfect operation of spiritual law. Remember that you are not merely managing money, you are stewarding divine energy, and your faithful circulation of this energy establishes you as a trusted channel through which the universe delights to demonstrate its unlimited abundance under grace and in perfect order. Within the very depths of your being pulses a truth so magnificent that most souls traverse entire lifetimes without recognizing its transformative power. You are not a mortal creature desperately scrambling for scraps of abundance, but an immortal heir to unlimited prosperity, endowed with every spiritual blessing and entitled by divine birthright to demonstrate wealth beyond your most extravagant imagination. This inheritance does not await some future moment to become available. It thrums with life in this very instant, pressing against the boundaries of your consciousness, like champagne against a cork, eager to overflow into your experience. The moment you claim it, with the unshakable authority of one who knows their true spiritual identity, your October declaration transforms from desperate petition into royal proclamation, issued from the throne of your divine sovereignty and commanding substance itself, to arrange according to your inherent nature as a beloved child of infinite supply. The fundamental error that imprisons countless souls in voluntary poverty stems from their complete misunderstanding of their relationship with the source of all abundance. For generations, humanity has been systematically conditioned to accept scarcity as reality, to believe that resources are limited, opportunities are rare, and struggle represents an inevitable component of existence. This deeply embedded programming, passed down through ancestral lines and reinforced by collective consciousness, creates the grand illusion that obscures your true nature as an individualized expression of infinite substance. Most approach the universe as supplicants, hat in hand, hoping their prayers might reach a distant deity who may or may not choose to grant requests based on mysterious criteria of worthiness or divine whim. This consciousness of separation and unworthiness poisons your declarations at their source, for you are essentially requesting permission to receive what already belongs to you by eternal right. But understand this clearly: you are not a beggar pleading for crumbs from heaven's banquet table. You are a co-creator with the infinite, joint heir with the Christ consciousness that demonstrated unlimited supply throughout its earthly ministry, endowed with the same creative faculty that spoke galaxies into existence and maintains the precise orbit of planets around their appointed suns. Your divine inheritance operates through what might be called the master key of identity recognition. Just as a trust fund can only be accessed by presenting proper identification, your spiritual estate responds exclusively to consciousness that recognizes its true nature. If you identify primarily as a struggling human attempting to make ends meet, the universe has no choice but to provide experiences that match that self-concept, regardless of how fervently you pray for change. The law of correspondence declares with mathematical precision, as within, so without. Your external circumstances serve as a perfect mirror, reflecting back the images you hold in consciousness, the words you speak habitually, and the emotional patterns you rehearse daily. When you declare, "I never have enough," you present the universe with a template of scarcity and Obedient cosmic law rushes to fill that mold with experiences that match your spoken pattern. Conversely, when you recognize yourself as divine substance in individualized expression, temporarily wearing human form for the joy of creation and demonstration, every cell in your body begins vibrating at the frequency of abundance, and external circumstances must rearrange themselves to correspond with this elevated consciousness. This recognition requires what spiritual science calls a fundamental identity shift from victim consciousness to victor consciousness, from creature to creator, from dependent to sovereign. The moment you truly grasp that limitation has never been your nature, but only a learned response to inherited beliefs about scarcity and unworthiness, you step into the power that has always been yours. This represents not arrogance, but awakening to the truth that the same intelligence that orchestrates the dance of galaxies and governs atomic structures lives as your very life, thinks as your thoughts, and delights to demonstrate its unlimited nature through your willing consciousness. Your inheritance includes not merely abundance but dominion, the divine authority to speak your word and have substance obey, to declare your good and witness its manifestation through channels both expected and unexpected. This dominion flows not through earning or achieving, but through remembering and claiming what has always been true about your essential nature. The universe operates according to immutable laws, as precise and reliable as gravity itself. These laws represent not arbitrary rules, but the very mechanics of creation, responding to your consciousness with absolute faithfulness when properly engaged. When you declare your divine inheritance, you are not relying on chance, luck, or divine favoritism. You are engaging a spiritual law that must respond to your conscious application with the same certainty that dropping an apple engages gravitational force. Your declaration becomes not a maybe or a hope, but scientific certainty when applied with understanding faith. The law does not discriminate based on background, education, or past performance. It simply responds to the vibrational frequency you broadcast through your thoughts, words, and feelings. There exists a profound distinction between asking and claiming that determines the speed and magnitude of your manifestation. Asking implies distance, doubt, and negotiation, suggesting the possibility of refusal. Claiming assumes union, certainty, and rightful possession, compelling fulfillment by the very integrity of spiritual law. When you declare, "I claim my divine inheritance of lavish supply now," you are not attempting to wrest treasure from reluctant hands, but aligning with truth that abundance belongs to you by right of consciousness. Your decree must be spoken not as a shout but as a settled knowing, carrying more power when whispered in certainty than when proclaimed in frantic desperation. Let your October declaration ring with royal authority. This October, I am established in divine abundance. Lavish increase flows to me now money, brilliant opportunities, and perfect solutions through expected and unexpected channels under grace and in perfect order. Notice the precision of this formula. Time-bound establishment to focus the mind. The word lavish to shatter habits of meager expectation. Inclusion of opportunities and solutions to broaden wealth's definition. Instruction for both expected and unexpected channels to prevent mental limitation of delivery methods. And the safeguard of under grace and in perfect order to ensure manifestation serves the highest good without strain or harm. Forgiveness operates as the master key to your inheritance vault, for the universe cannot place new treasure into hands clenched around old injuries. Every person you refuse to bless becomes a spiritual lien on your estate, a clouded title that complicates every transaction with abundance. Resentment functions as the most devastating dam in your prosperity river, creating energetic barriers that repel the very wealth you claim to desire. When you harbor grievances against employers, clients, partners, family members, or yourself over past financial mistakes, you construct invisible walls that block the channels through which October's unprecedented flow seeks to reach you. The act of genuine release creates immediate movement in your prosperity demonstration. Speak these liberating words over every person who has caused you pain, financial loss, or disappointment. I forgive you completely and release you to your highest good. I release myself from this burden and claim my freedom to prosper now. Feel the immediate lightness that follows each release, for you have just cleared another channel through which your inheritance can flow unimpeded. This forgiveness extends beyond others to include releasing yourself from every moment you have lived beneath your divine nature, every vow of limitation made in ignorance, and every agreement with scarcity forged in moments of fear or pain. Your inheritance respects preparation and honors order. For money loves clarity and abundance recognizes itself most readily in organized environments. The law demands that you create space for your good by establishing order in every area connected to your prosperity. Clear your desk of clutter that scolds abundance. Address bills with blessing rather than dread. Send invoices with cheerful expectation, and answer opportunities with ready enthusiasm. These simple acts represent not mundane chores, but the opening of gates through which your October demonstration must flow. Make a clear path for money to arrive by organizing your wallet, filing important papers, updating your records, and creating systems that allow income to be received easily. As you establish external order, inner order agrees, and your claim feels increasingly real because your world witnesses to its truth. Untended corners proclaim, "I am not ready," and the obedient law honors that subtle command by delaying your good until proper preparation signals your readiness to receive. The ultimate claiming of your divine inheritance occurs when you cease seeing any separation between your spiritual identity and material experience, when prosperity becomes as natural as breathing, when abundance flows through your life with the same ease that blood circulates through your arteries. This consciousness expresses itself through transformed language that reflects your royal identity. Retire phrases that betray beggarly posture. "I can't afford it." "I hope something works out." "Money is tight." Replace them with the syntax of sovereignty. "I allocate from abundance." "The perfect arrangement is forming now." "My resources expand daily." "I meet every obligation with ease." "From my overflowing supply." Your inheritance. Consciousness naturally manifests through generous circulation. For one who knows their connection to infinite supply never fears giving. This generosity flows not from obligation or guilt, but from overflow consciousness that recognizes giving as joyful privilege rather than burdensome duty. Each act of circulation declares your faith in unlimited supply and sets in motion invisible forces that must return to you, multiplied through perfect channels orchestrated by infinite intelligence. Maintain this elevated consciousness through daily recognition rituals that reinforce your identity as heir to unlimited abundance. Each morning, stand where light can reach your face and speak directly to the divine being reflected in your mirror. You are a beloved child of infinite supply. Claim your inheritance boldly and without apology. Each evening, review your day through the lens of inheritance consciousness, recognizing every blessing received as evidence of your divine nature expressing itself through your willing awareness. Throughout October, let inheritance consciousness permeate every financial transaction, every business decision, and every moment of doubt or fear. Handle money as one who knows their connection to unlimited supply. Make choices from abundance rather than scarcity. And speak your declaration with the authority of one who is not requesting something external, but claiming what already belongs to them by eternal right. Remember that you are not attempting to acquire abundance. You are allowing abundance that is already yours to express itself through your consciousness, your words, your actions, and your willing cooperation with the divine nature that lives as your very life, eager to demonstrate its unlimited bounty through your October experience under grace and in perfect order.